The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
You have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Here we are. August. Almost done.
Yeah, we're halfway through August. We're most of the way through summer. It seems like the fall's coming on quick, isn't it?
Didn't Elvis die today?
Like today?
Not today. But on this date.
They found him and he died that same day.
Didn't he die like the middle of, like the... I believe we are somewhere around the Elvis death anniversary.
Of him dying
on the toilet.
Dying on the toilet, yeah. What a way to go. I
Oh.
spent enough time on the toilet that I have a pretty good percentage chance of dying there.
Don't all the kids like Elvis now because of the
I
movie?
think I'll probably either die in my bed, and then second highest would be on the toilet, and then third highest would be like in front of my computer. Didn't Elvis do what?
Replace computer with TV, and I'd say those odds
Yeah.
are same for me. Don't all the kids like Elvis now because of the movie that came out?
I guess. My kid went through a very brief Elvis phase.
Why?
It was like super brief. She bought a super cheap, like best of, listened to it, and then moved on. Which I think everybody does at some point.
I think we're
They're
too
like,
young.
"Oh,
Like it was. We were kids. He was like, we got to see him be dead 10, 20 years. We got to live through. He's alive at a Burger King in Kalamazoo, with both of us went to and never saw him.
I'm pretty sure I was at that Burger King.
Yeah, I was supposed to be going downtown, but it's no. We've done this, but yeah, it's never been an Elvis fan. I mean, I guess like I said, understood he was the first boy band, but don't hold him in the same reverence as I hold, like, say, someone like the Beatles.
First, but yeah, I don't even know about that. He was a
Hey, you look pretty. Sing these black songs.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that was the issue right there, is that they had all these great songs, but nobody wanted to play them because radio was segregated. There was, white radio that white people listened to, and they had white artists, like, I don't know, doing the fucking Chattanooga Choo Choo or whatever the fuck.
You can argue that still kind of exists.
And that you have...
Show me all the white artists on WJOB.
Well, I'm not saying that there isn't, like... Here's the difference.
Show me all the black
Doesn't
artists
exist.
on 99.5.
Right, but you're not automatically excluded because of your race.
It's true.
They will.
It's not like, yeah.
The DJ's not going to be like, I can't fucking play this.
Well, right, yeah, no, marketing's involved. It's not called black radio. It's called, was it?
Urban.
Urban, yeah.
Urban programming.
You call it white radio, you call it country.
Yeah, I guess, like, Elvis was the first. He was like a phenomenon that probably hadn't occurred before, but who knows? I mean, I think part of this is, like, we have the 50s is where we really we start to have, like, a visual record and video record of, like, all these famous events. And we can go back and look at, like, past presidents and, artists, and they seem like more concrete. People have freaked out over music for forever.
Well, the thing is, we talked, his scope was, he ended up being a worldwide phenomenon, and he never left the United States.
Yeah,
he could have been
yeah.
so much bigger. But, we talked about Colonel Tom. Because Colonel Tom couldn't travel.
Because Colonel Tom...
Elvis couldn't go worldwide.
Because Colonel Tom was... what's the fucking guy's name from... He was Don Draper in it. He had taken somebody else's name. He went AWOL. He left the service.
Armin Tanzarian.
Yeah. And he came back as somebody else, Armin Tanzarian. We will never speak of this again.
Only listenable Elvis song, in my opinion.
So, like, I think I've actually went through two brief Elvis phases. Like, early on, I was like, wanted to hear about what early rock was like. And that's just really what Elvis does, is he gives you an introduction to, right? And then if you're really interested, you can go, okay, who wrote these songs? Oh, let me go look up the originals. Oh, that's what rock and roll sounds
Carl
like.
Perkins.
Right. So, it's a gateway drug. And then, so you can, but I think, as a teenager or in my 20s, I consider it like, okay, so there's credibility to some of that early stuff. There's some good songs there. There's some interesting recordings that still kind of stand up for really simple recordings, not full on drum kits, but just sounds like some guy doing a ham bone solo in the back. And you think of the Elvis that you're playing there, that's like the 70s Elvis. That's
the one that died on the toilet.
Yeah. And you think of that as like, oh, that's just cheesy. That's just him selling out. That's hit the dying gasp of a fragile ego of an artist.
Elvis front runner on homosexuality.
But then I came around on the 70s Elvis too, and I was like, well, the fucking nudie suits, the whole kind of James Brown vibe to his performances at that time. I mean, he was still stealing, but he was stealing from the best, and I think that's a big part of why he perseveres, like we've talked about with the Beatles. Like the Beatles, they innovated, but they were innovating in the way that you could combine elements of different genres of song and take like the old songs from that Paul's mother really loved and the the newer rock and jazz and folk and country and all of that stuff, and put all those elements into it. And Indian music, and they start branching out. That's all they're doing. They're just, every time that they explore a new genre of music, they're like, okay, how can we incorporate that into what we're doing? These days, I've heard all the original Elvis stuff, the old stuff, and I'd rather hear the actual originals. But if I wanted to see an Elvis performance, I'm going to watch Elvis in what I consider his heyday of him in the fucking capes and shit, looking like Shazam.
Have we ever confirmed the sexes of jailbirds 47 and 23?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they had co-ed. I don't think they have co-ed jails now. I'm just putting that out there. Let alone 60, 70 years ago.
Look, there's no homos in jail, right? There's just
Elvis pioneered gay for the stay.
There's just needs and opportunities.
What's the Tim Conway line from 30 Rock? Back then, it wasn't gay. It was just one man showing another man each other's strength.
Yeah, that's it. Appreciating another man's strength or something like that. But
yeah.
That's underrated performance there. And
it's Tim Conway.
Yeah. He does deadpan.
Well, he got a label
deadpan is like,
he got a label as a guy who didn't work blue, and it got him thrown into that pile. But he actually, for the time that he did edgy stuff, like you said, with the deadpan stuff.
Yeah,
like kind of the stuff where you had to like fill in the punchlines yourself.
Well, I think he probably felt like, I don't have to work blue. I'm clever.
Yeah.
Right? I can put in enough innuendo that the people think the dirty words. I don't have to say them. They're thinking it. I put it in their head with imagery and innuendo and storytelling.
Like we all do when anyone says the N-word. We're all filling it in. We know what it means.
I watched Prey, which is the newest Predator movie.
Did you like it?
I liked it very much.
I've heard positive word of mouth on this.
I had no expectations and didn't even know it was coming out. Like, I just started seeing ads for it, and I'm like, oh, that looks like a Predator. Oh, this is a Predator movie. And it's already on Hulu. Like, I don't have to do anything. I already have the app. So how am I not going to watch that? Even though I'm not like invested in Predator per se. The original's a classic. If I had to pick, I'm definitely more Aliens, because the Alien franchise has managed to grow and expand in a way that's actually interesting despite a lot of missteps. Whereas they've really tried to expand the Predator universe, and all they really can do is more Predators.
Is Arnold
right?
still in it?
There's nothing really interesting about it.
It's in the universe, not the movie.
No, so this takes place pre-America.
Oh, that's right. It's the prequel. So he's not even in the picture yet.
I wouldn't even call it a prequel because it doesn't establish any. I mean,
That's right. Yeah, isn't it in like the 1700s or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't establish anything. I mean, it could be the same, or I don't know if it's the same Predator, or obviously there's a whole race of these guys. So I'd assume it's not. But who knows? Maybe this is like one Predator that's just got a hard on for this planet. And that's the crazy thing about it, is like there's so much not known about, like, what are their motivations? Where do they come from? Why do they do this? Why are they so like?
It's 2022. They came at 17. Were they mad we had slaves?
Yeah.
Were the Predators mad at us?
Yeah, you should just hunt them like we do.
Yeah,
why
right.
do you make them work for you? Like, what is that?
How to cook for 40 humans. Yeah.
But that being said, I think that remains now a strength of the Predator universe. So you can do a movie like this, and you don't have to explain anything or set a whole lot of stuff up. If you've seen a Predator before, you know that they like to kill things, and that's it, right? That's all you really need to know about it.
So this means then the next movie can be like Predator in the future.
It could be
After Arnold and Carl Weathers.
No, absolutely. That's what I would like to see. Yes. I would like to just see them drop a Predator into any situation that you want, go to in the future and we colonize Mars, and then there's a Predator that shows up on Mars, and like, you thought this was your planet, motherfucker?
Oh, Total Recall Predator crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Arnold's in both movies.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Hey, by the way, you brought up Hulu. I
Yeah,
noticed Hulu and both YouTube not pulling the okie doke on you like Netflix does. Where Netflix goes, hey, we're raising the price, and then you get no choice. They just start taking more money. Both Google, YouTube Music, and Hulu in August both went, hey, your card doesn't work anymore. I'm like, well, my card doesn't expire for 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
It basically, no, their plans have changed. The plan that I have will not go through on the card I have on file.
Right, because you have an agreement for a certain plan, right?
Yeah,
And
so
they can't just
basically
jack it up. That's interesting.
Hulu
yeah.
going, hey, now you got to pick the next one up now, and yeah,
Right.
And YouTube Music going, hey man, now it's $5 more now if you want it. Like, okay,
Everything is going to go up. I mean, Disney Plus announced at the end of this year they're going up.
but we
Hulu
passed
just
the
went
Inflation
up.
Reduction Act.
Netflix
It's in
went
the
up.
name.
Yeah.
Even though
Biden, why didn't you do something
even
about
though
streaming?
economists and people in his own party have went like, it's not gonna. I don't think this means what you think it means.
One of these shriveled
Yeah.
nutsacks in Congress going to take on big streamer.
Right. Come on, Biden, make my Netflix $5 less. Let's go.
Yeah, and well, who else? Oh, HBO is probably going to go up or be bundled in some way with Discovery. I mean,
They just fired a whole bunch of people.
they did, and I actually put that in the good news basket because, I was worried. We brought this up last week. I said HBO is my favorite streamer. They have the most consistent quality of programming. The stuff that they added on with HBO Max has been of the same quality as like the original HBO programming. And they have more of a cultivated library of like just, they see projects through too. They're not just worried about getting another tile up on the streamer like Netflix is. And so Discovery not coming on, but gobbling them up and saying, oh, we now get to decide which HBO programming is prioritized. That, of course, made me really nervous, especially with the history of what I consider poor quality programming that they've had for the last decade.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Where are you on this whole Batgirl cancellation?
Well, it's interesting. It's I think that it's a ridiculous decision to not even put it out on a streamer, even though, the movie's like done. They cut the music for it the other day. After they announced that it was done, the studio time, the musicians, everything was already paid for. And they're like, all right, I guess we'll just do this anyways. Like, maybe it'll see the light of day. And yet they're still going through with the Ezra Miller Flash movie.
Well, he said he's sorry. You see that? He said he's sorry and he's going to get help.
Look, I don't...
You know, if that were you or me, we'd be locked up.
We joke around, and I think, I feel like when you're talking about celebrities who put themselves out on public, they leave themselves open to this. But still, I've made plenty of cracks at Ezra Miller, and he seems like a real creep, but he's obviously, like Kanye West, somebody who should be seeking help. And I'm glad to see that he's doing it.
He's obviously going through something, but at the same time, he kind of committed a few crimes while he was going through something.
Yeah, and then there's some weirdness with him, like, harboring this. I guess he's seeing some mother who has a child who is, like, I think they went on the run, right? He was like...
No, he was with the child, and the mother was like, hey, he took off with my kid. If you've seen my kid. Like, she took to Twitter.
Okay, so I didn't realize that. It started, it was the three of them. I think they were hiding out from the father of the mother, obviously, of the kid. But then I think he took the kid and took off. So, yeah, I mean, it's not good mothering.
Well, go through things are not kidnapping is kidnapping.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they're doing everything that they can to, like, hold on to this Flash movie because I think that they're convinced that this is going to be their Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, like it's going to be a tentpole.
Yes. Whereas, like, people, Spider-Man just has, like, an attraction, like, worldwide people know Spider-Man. He is worldwide the most popular Spider-Man superhero character, and it's partly about that suit. But it's also a lot about the charm of the character. And Flash has always kind of been written as the same type of character, really quippy and kind of young and brash usually, although there's many different versions of the Flash. But anyway, so they're canceling Batgirl, but they say that they're doing it because their focus is on quality.
Well, I mean, I know it's the Hollywood rumor mill, but allegedly, like, it just every test it apparently tested terrible.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was a complete piece of dog shit. It's totally possible that DC makes a complete dog shit movie.
Because that's the other thing.
I've seen it.
I know enough to know that as far as in the movie realm of things, DC is losing.
They're losing because I wouldn't say they're losing. Their stuff makes money, right?
Well, I should say the word of mouth on their films is like, it's iffy at best. Like, they'll come out with a good one, then they'll come out with a turd, then they'll come out with a good one, then they'll come out with a turd.
Yeah. They don't have the consistency of output that Marvel does. And they also don't have the consistency of vision that Marvel does. They're like doing some movies over here with this version of the Joker and over here with this version of the Batman. And then they're talking about bringing Affleck back to do Batman. 89 Batman. Michael Keaton is going to be in the Flash movie.
He's allegedly in Batgirl. It's supposed to be him coming back.
Yeah, he was going to be in Batgirl too. That's right. Or is in Batgirl. We'll never see it. So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence that they yet know what they're doing with the property. But if they're starting with the idea, I mean, that was a pretty harsh thing to say, honestly. As much as they, like, kind of softballed it, to say, like, we canceled this, and why did we cancel? Well, we can't get into the details of why, but it was in respect of our overall focus on top quality entertainment. So the subtext there being, this movie was dog shit.
Right. We made a terrible movie.
Yeah. And it's so bad that it's not just like it's going to be like Suicide Squad. People will go see it, and then it'll get panned, and it'll make money, but it won't make a ton of money or warrant a sequel. It was so bad that people would just be like, "Oh, DC's off the fucking rails."
I could see a situation happening with this, though, like happened with the Snyder Cut. Like, wasn't the Snyder Cut never supposed to see the light of day?
Yeah, and the fans... Yeah, well, I guess it's possible, but I don't think it'll go away forever. I think the main concern here is that there's new bosses for Warner Brothers, right? And DC, regardless of its success rate, is like the tentpole for that, right? Streaming is fine. HBO is doing good. It's making money, I'm sure. The reality programming is always going to make money. But you want to really rake in the cash and have big opportunities raking Marvel-style cash, billions worldwide. That DC is your opportunity to do that. And if the new boss comes in and they go, okay, it's a new day, new boss, new broom sweeps clean, and here's our first movie.
They can't lay an egg right away.
And it's Batgirl.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Now the people have completely lost faith in anyone being able to handle this franchise and turn it into something huge like Marvel. The fans are not going to be there for you. So,
and your first decision as the new boss is a poor one.
I think, we'll see a new direction. We'll see more cohesiveness maybe. And they'll definitely, make some decisions. And then a few years down the line, they'll be like, hey, here's the unreleased cut of the Batgirl movie or whatever. And it'll mark my words, it'll happen like this. A few snippets will get out online that nobody knows where they came from. Maybe somebody was hacked, but really it's the studio going, okay, let's throw out a few tidbits and see how people react. And they'll start a quote-unquote grassroots movement like the Snyder Cut and be like, oh, okay, if fans are going to demand this, I guess we have to give it to them.
Hey.
We're just doing what the fans want.
Don't forget, it's also 2022. Everyone wants to be a fucking hero. Don't forget, there could also be just random asshole intern who fucking steals it and puts it out on the internet. Never see the light of day, huh? Well, I'll show them.
That might happen, but I think that they'll.
I don't even know where to steal movies now. That's how out of loop I am. Like, are packets still a thing? I'll upload it to wherever you upload places to steal things.
LimeWire.
Yeah. Is that still around?
It might be. I don't know.
It's LimeWire.
I've never heard
Pirate
of it.
Bay.
Pirate Bay. Pirate Bay, I think, is still around, but it's just FBI owned. Is the rumor.
Well, at this point, but while I was using Pirate Bay, everything became cheaper. I was like, oh, well, I can just pay for the music now. I got $10 a month.
So anyway, long way around getting to the point of, so they laid off 70 staffers recently, and we knew this was going to happen. There's a consolidation, there's overlap. It happens all the time with big companies. The question was, who is going to get cut, and what did that mean to what they were prioritizing going forward? And most of those cuts actually came from the reality programming side of things.
Well, yeah, because they just brought on a whole fucking Discovery has...
Right. They've got their own crew.
Yeah, Discovery's like, hey, we got reality covered, by the way.
And what they didn't cut is HBO. And they actually had a statement talking about how much they are invested. They want to make the brand more cohesive. They're going to drop the Max and just go, look, all your programming goes under HBO. Don't confuse your brand.
Oh, hey, two guys that sound just like us been talking about that for fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, just call it HBO.
Yes. From day one, we were like, I don't know
why are you having another HBO? Like, do I get HBO? Remember, we were confused. Do I get HBO Max? Do I just keep HBO Online? Which one do I do?
Yeah. It says, at the end of the day, putting all that content together was the only way we saw to make this a viable business. Yeah, talking about the HBO and the HBO Max thing. They were just putting it all together as one. But yeah, either way, you got to figure prices are going up with HBO, even if I'm not required to get all the Discovery reality programming. And it's going to have to be on a rotation. I'm not going to subscribe to all these all the time.
I was just reading an article today talking, apparently I read a lot of articles about finance because they show up in my Google News feed.
Yeah.
But one of them, it was, one of the tips it was talking about, rotate your streaming services.
Yep.
And essentially the point was like, you can't watch everything on all streaming services at once.
Yep.
like figure out what you watch the most.
And there's like, we don't live in the world where everyone comes into the office on Monday and talks about the Dukes of Hazzard or A-Team or whatever the fuck. You know, we're all watching different shit. We're all watching it at different times. Mm-hmm. You know, there certainly is loyal fans. Like people like me have been waiting forever for the Sandman and just binged through that first season because they were so anxious.
It's more like stuff you talk about during the week.
But, you know, we might recommend something to somebody else, but it's very rare that we're all like discussing that, you know, one program that we all watched. So there's no advantage to like, oh, I got to have this because this is out that day. Just wait for it. Wait for all the episodes to come out, or, you know, wait for it. So like within the span of the month that you subscribe to, you'll have all the episodes available and just watch it then. Walmart is doing, they've teamed up with Paramount Plus.
I saw this.
So if you're a Walmart Plus subscriber, you get Paramount Plus for free, which is interesting. So there's a Walmart kind of near me.
What the fuck is Walmart Plus?
That's what I was wondering. Like, I understand, like, Amazon has some clear benefits, tops being shipping and all the programming and the books and all that stuff that you get from it. I was looking at, because I was shopping there more often. As much as I think they're evil, so is Amazon. So is, like, what big corporation isn't going to be evil? Where am I going to shop at? You know?
Yeah. Still need things.
Exactly. So, like, all right, so what's this Walmart Plus shit? And you get free shipping on stuff, but I don't ever have them ship stuff to me anyway. Get some advanced notification on deals, and I'm like, okay, I don't need a new blender. Like, why do I need this? But you start adding that up with, like, okay, if I wanted Paramount Plus anyways, and that's what, like $6, $7? I don't know. Walmart Plus is like $12, somewhere around there. It's about whatever Amazon Prime is at. It's probably around the same thing. That starts adding up, starts making sense. So I think we're just going to see more bundles like that, because that's the.
Well, yeah, I got Apple TV Plus now for a year.
Right.
Because I'm a T-Mobile customer.
Well, right. So what doesn't go on the rotation for me?
I haven't watched it yet, but I know I have it.
There's two things that are
Ted Lasso.
Like Hulu, Netflix, Disney, all this shit is going on, HBO, all this shit's going on rotation. What doesn't go on rotation? Amazon Prime Video and Apple TV. Why? Because they're tied to other subscriptions of stuff that I use. Right? I have the Apple One bundle or whatever they call it. And
yeah, I'm just lucky I actually watch Amazon Video. It comes with my Amazon Prime.
Right. So it's something that you'd pay for anyways, or that you don't want to like fuck with. You know, if you're using the free shipping on Amazon Prime for a lot of stuff, you don't want to be like, okay, I'll just wait another month and then buy all this shit from Amazon. No, you're just going to stay subscribed to it. So I think we're going to see more of that. We're going to see a lot more bundling, not bundling of video services, but video services with other things.
For sure. Lease a car, get Netflix.
That's not insane. Yeah. I mean, what's an average car lease for? How many?
Oh, who the fuck knows now? I heard the average car payment was $700. I'm like, what? Yeah.
How? How is that the average?
Well, you got to think, right? You got high end, you got low end.
Sure, but percentage-wise, you have way more low-end cars on the road than high-end.
Yeah, and that's like most of my mortgage.
$700.
I lived in an apartment where the rent was $700. It's 10 years ago, but still.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
Our state of Michigan here is ranked 30th in the 50 states of the best places to live, so doesn't really rate us highly.
Hey, welcome to the middle.
It's like, the low middle.
Hey, we're in the middle of the country, we're in the middle of the pack.
That's like a D-.
Why are we 30th?
I don't know. But I love this headline from Click on Detroit. Michigan ranked 30th best state to live in, which seems low, but still higher than Ohio.
Hold on. There you go.
Which is great. I mean, that's... That's like Michigan's mantra, right? At least we're not Ohio.
Ohio sucks.
As long as we're doing better than Ohio, we're doing okay. What are the key factors like affordability, economy, education and health, quality of life, and safety. So yeah, I don't know. The Chili Peppers write a song about Michigan?
Oh yeah.
They just played
It's like
Michigan.
15 years old.
They just played a couple days ago.
Yeah,
here in
Comerica
Michigan.
Park.
What was it? They played. It was Chili Peppers. Can't remember who else played the show.
Apparently it was great. Actually, in a drunken idea on Thursday night, was talking about, yeah, man, I'm going to go on StubHub and get tickets. I
Yeah.
didn't fucking do that.
Yeah. Well, probably would have been insane anyway. I mean, the prices.
You do a couple hours before the show, you get them dirt cheap.
Yeah. Where's the complete list? I want to see who's worse than Michigan. Georgia, Indiana, Ohio, Texas. Fuck you, Texas. Oregon, Tennessee, Missouri, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii, West Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, New Mexico, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alaska, and Mississippi. Wow. So I thought all those Southerners love living down south. Their states aren't ranking very highly.
Well, they love living down there. No, say, what were the factors again?
Well, it's the best state. So because they're talking to people in the states that they're asking about the state that they live in. So yeah, it's not like they just interviewed a bunch of people and said, here, rank all the 50 states. These are firsthand accounts. Affordability, economy, education and health, quality of life, and safety. So it could have been like, how do you love living in Alabama? I love Alabama. I fucking love it down here. It's the best state in the whole fucking nation, the whole world.
Well,
Alabama's where I grew up. It's where I'm going to be. And then they go, okay, how's the economy? Economy sucks.
Shit.
Economy
Well, that's
sucks
the thing,
down
yeah.
here.
What's
How's the
their
education?
method? Is it all people's opinions?
Well, yeah, and then they go on. Well, how's your education? Education sucks around here. How's your quality of life? Nah, it's not so great. How do you feel about safety? Yeah, things would definitely be more safe around here. Okay, sounds like you live in a shitty place. I fucking love it.
Right.
It's like a southern version of the.
But take away the accent, and that sounds like a Michigander.
The cranky old man that what's his name used to do on SNL. Dana
Carvey?
Yeah, Dana Carvey. You remember the old man that he used to do? So we wore wooden shoes and we liked it.
Sounds like something you
Walk
do.
around with splinters in our feet, saying, "Oh, look at me! My feet are bleeding, and I love it." James Hetfield filed for divorce of his wife from his wife of 25 years.
25 years?
Yeah, like why at that point?
Yeah, right?
You're telling me that you couldn't get strange out on the road?
Aren't you like 60? Yeah. Yeah, you don't have a house big enough to be like, you take your side, I'll take mine.
You know what I heard recently? They played a snippet of it on the No Dogs in Space podcast, which is this couple that does deep dives on music, on bands. And they were listening to, so somebody did like their own mix of And Justice for All and actually brought the bass up, right? So there's a bit of backstory on this one, but in between Master of Puffins,
Master of Muppets.
Master of Puffins. In between Master of Puppets, in between Master of Puppets and Justice for All, they lost their bass player.
Yes, a bus rolled onto top of him.
Yeah, what was his name? Cliff
Burton.
Cliff Burton. Thank you. Yeah, horrible bus accident. The bus stopped and short and rolled over or something like that, or the guy fell asleep. Whatever happened, he actually slid out the window when the bus tipped, and then the bus rolled over on top of him.
Yeah.
And just smashed him. And he was a founding member of that band, and it was already metal wise that was a big band. Like, metal hadn't broken big enough. Metallica, with And Justice for All, would actually break metal into the charts.
Yes.
But they weren't there yet. They were just the biggest metal act out there. And, you know, and a lot of those early recordings, I mean, those bass lines are what helped define those tracks. So that was a major, major loss for them. And when it came time to record a new album, find a new bass player and record a new album, I guess the initial, who did they get? They've got the
Jason Newsted was the dude. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was the guy after Cliff,
yes.
Right? Yeah. So Jason Newsted was like totally harassed by that band, apparently. Like, they ran him through the ringer. They tried to defan him, basically.
And like initiating him into a frat.
And he also had like no say on anything in the band. You know, he was the noob. So the story goes that Lars Ulrich, the drummer,
this is a dude playing it.
When they came to mix And Justice for All, you know, everybody's kind of advocating for their track. Oh, I want to hear a little bit more on my guitar in this part. I want to hear my drums, and of course, you know, Jason's got he's got zero clout in the band, and he just gets steamrolled by Lars, who decides that the bass is just masking his beautiful drum playing, and so he has them turn the bass down and down a little more, down more, until you just can't fucking hear it.
Yeah. Well, this says with original bass. Does that mean none?
Yeah, this is this is the original. It's very tinny. Yeah. Who would want to miss those beautiful double strokes that Lars Ulrich, his so graceful right foot. That's what everybody cares about when they listen to a Metallica song. You fucking clod, you goddamn caveman pounding on rocks. But if you can find, I know it's out there, but yeah, there's a new like.
Well, here's one from 2021. It just says. It's a minute 22.
Yeah, it's just a little snippet of it. Oh, they've isolated the original bass.
They're playing a track.
Okay, but I don't know what the point of this is.
Right.
They did the whole album, and it's out there. And Justice for Jason, I believe is what it's called.
And Justice for Jason, full album.
Yeah. But see if you can find the same track that we were listening to, though.
Oh.
Totally different song, huh?
Whoa.
I mean, and all he's doing is following James, right? He's not, but
no way. I'm listening to this whole thing now.
Yeah, it's really I've heard these songs in a whole new light.
Oh wait, we skipped over. There we go.
Yeah. Because Injustice is a great album, but it's tinny as fuck. And
I'm
it's
listening
so
to at work
fucking
tomorrow.
harsh.
This.
Yeah. And, Jason Newsted is a solid bass player, and he actually, Lars didn't do himself any favors by burying Jason's bass, because Jason's bass actually helps hold the groove down that Lars is so desperately trying to destroy with his lack of rhythm. So Jason being on time actually makes you sound more on time, Lars.
Right.
Instead of I get it with your fucking foot.
It's fucking badass. Yeah, it's a totally different feel to the album.
Yeah, totally different groove. It sounds like it's ahead of its time. Like, imagine how mind blowing this would have been. So Injustice, they broke into the charts, but Black Album, they fucking dominated the charts, and they were pop music, right?
I hear
everybody
Shades of Soundgarden
brought that. Yeah, right. And so they could have done that earlier. They could have had a sound that really stuck with people. I think what people were affected by in Injustice is that wall of sound that was just like, wow. But it didn't last as much because the songs didn't have literally depth to them.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, gnarly little bass sound, too. I like it. It's got some real dig to it. It's that, Ampeg sound.
Cool. I was going to be like, let's see if I can... Yeah, it puts so much more depth. Yeah,
it really does. Yeah.
Who remixed this?
I don't know. I don't remember who credit goes to.
Yeah.
How much it does sound more like grunge.
Yeah.
Not just tinny metal.
I mean, now that they're sounding rather Pantera-ish.
Yeah.
Like doing groove metal before groove metal was a thing.
Yep.
And the engineer let this happen?
Yep. And yeah, it's not just about the depth, especially when you hear this part and that kind of stop-start. I thought, the original, that chunky stop-start thing sounds great, but with the bass in there, it pumps like a fucking techno track. It's has this breeze.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Death Magnetic. Even though I know you hate that album because it just sounds like you said it was at the peak of the loudness wars.
Yeah.
But it's got more of a feel of that album. All right.
Sounds pretty good.
I think we're getting at, no matter what the sound, this album would have been way fucking better with bass in it.
Yeah.
We hear you, Jason. Lars' terrible drumming needed to be heard.
Yeah. I mean, talking about just shooting yourself in the foot, though. it makes the drums sound worse over. Not just the quality of the playing, but the actual sound quality of the drums sound more naked and weird with no bass there with it. Like, drum and bass work together.
Yeah. Kind of how it works in the music.
So I guess touch on a little bit of weed stuff before we skedaddle. We are, as summer wanes and fall fast approaches, we enter another hectic election season, which everyone's going to be biting on their nails on which old fucks are going to decide the fate of our everything. And in many states, in 6 different states, could be added to the roster of legalized marijuana states.
I mean, and then...
if it goes well.
So we've already said that 20% of the country, so that means...
This would... I think this
10
would...
states, so then that would bring it up to 16.
Well, I think overall, if you count medical and recreational, you've got half of the
medical
country,
recreational,
right?
it's over 30. But I'm just talking recreational.
Okay, right.
Let's see, 16 divided by 50. That would be a third of the country, sir. Because that's what
you say 1/3 of the country will have
if
recreational
those 6
programs.
go to recreational, it's a third of the
Well,
country.
okay, so-
you can just go to the weed store.
Well, only 5 of them have rec on the. Will possibly get rec on the ballot. Arkansas, Maryland, Missouri, North Dakota, and Oklahoma. So North Dakota, we know, is already in the bag. They've got their signatures. I think Maryland's good. I haven't really heard much about Arkansas.
Maryland's going to be surrounded by weed. They're going to have no choice. Virginia's got it. And then Jersey's got it.
And then Nebraska is looking at medical marijuana.
But you mentioned like Arkansas and Oklahoma. Like, that's a big
Yeah.
deal. That's going below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, Arkansas having recreational marijuana.
Florida, are you going to let Arkansas beat you to the weed? Come on, Florida. It's right up your alley.
So, and what Arkansas is actually looking at is a constitutional amendment, which, if everything goes well, they're going to start sales in March 2023. So they're like, Arkansas sounds like they're ready to hit the ground running. And speaking of the South, a big part of the South is Texas, literally. You might remember them from being down at the bottom of the list, under Michigan in the top 50 places to live in the U.S. And that's a big state full of a lot of people who smoke a lot of weed, and they don't have any kind of legal program.
I mean, when you're that close to the cartel, need a
But-
program?
Yeah, exactly. They've got a program.
Yeah.
So the University of Texas at Tyler did a poll recently of Texans, found that 72% of registered voters in Texas said they back medical cannabis legalization. That also included a majority, a 67% majority of Republicans that were polled on this. And 55% of respondents said that they would approve marijuana for adult use, just a recreational program.
So pretty much, I mean, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, I imagine in 2 years' time they'll be voting in Texas.
Man, I think it might even be longer or quicker, maybe.
Possibly.
Although if it ain't this year, yeah, right. If it's not on the ballot this year, then 2024.
Right. Because generally they want to save that stuff so they can stack it up, right? You want to do it on what they call an off year.
Yeah, do it in
You want it-
2023.
No, in 2024 they'll have the presidential race. So everyone will be out for that. They can use that to... Well, the Democrats can use that to get more people to the polls, certainly.
Get all the people in Austin to go vote for weed.
Yeah, come vote for legal weed, and while you're at it, vote in Biden again. Why not? You want to see him die in office, right? We all want to. Shouldn't he die? He's a lifelong politician. He should die in office.
Vote in.
Not that I'm wishing death on Joe Biden. I'm just saying, I don't have to wish death on him. He's fucking old. He's getting some work done, though, huh?
Allegedly.
Yeah. He looked a little more bright-eyed than usual lately.
Now his wife's got the COVID.
Either that or they got his pacemaker turned up too much.
Right.
They got me in overdrive.
Well, all right. They gave him all the super drugs. Dude, over the COVID, it's got some residuals
Come
in there.
on. They gave me a robot heart. I said, come on, I want the best.
The best heart Japan can buy. This guy's just playing it. There's a lot of these. I go down a rabbit hole of injustice for Jason.
I'm sure a lot of people have just added their own bass on top of it. Well, that's fun, too.
I don't understand why they just haven't reissued an official one. Like, hey, here's... Like, they did Let It Be Naked, right? Like, hey,
Right.
here's the one without all Phil Spector's bullshit.
Yeah, it would seem like they would just cash in on this.
So I feel like I'm going back to... I feel like we finished the subject.
No, that's fine. We'll loop back around.
I mean, Metallica's made it clear at this point they like money. Just put out a version with bass in it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to just sit down and listen to that whole album again, though, and hear it as it was meant to be.
Yes. So follow us on Twitter at TheWeedsman420 or on Facebook. Like us. I believe we are at TheWeedsman420 there, too. You can look us up that way. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the PayPal button, hit the Amazon banner if you would like to help out the show. Kyle, we see you. Who else is Evan?
Kyle.
Yeah. Kyle sending us money. Evan sending us messages.
Nice.
Yeah, we got.
Thanks for the love, people.
Yeah, you know, gonna be like Kyle and Evan. Hit us up, and wherever you listen to us, where you can rate us and review us, 5 stars, 1 star, whatever. You know, we take constructive criticism. Want to know how we're doing?
Yeah. Most apps got the rating feature. If not, you can just share us.
Yeah,
That works too.
yeah. Just tell people how to find us. If you like the show, share it. You know, rate it, review it. However you got to tell people. Just help spread the word. And stay high.
Stay high.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.